Good evening. I would like to welcome everybody here tonight. We are so glad to see you. We're glad that you found it important enough to come here and not leave early for your Thanksgiving turkey. With that being said, please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Moving along, we'll follow the agenda. Right now, can I get approval of the minutes from October the 9th? I move the minutes of October the 9th be approved. I'll just say the revised minutes from October the 9th. Including the revised. Thank you, Ms. Hartness. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. All right, next, approval of the meeting agenda. Are there any additions?
Madam Chair, yes, we have, as you just mentioned, revised board minutes from October. We have personnel board summary addendum, the curriculum and instruction committee minutes revised, and a transfer revised list.
Okay, thank you. Can I get approval of the meeting agenda with those additions?
Make a motion to approve the meeting agenda revised.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. Next, Dr. Bennett, recognition and announcements.
Madam Chair, if you'll join me up front, we have several recognitions for this evening. We'll begin this evening with a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting. We are just so excited that the Business and Financial Services Department here, led by Mr. Don Super and his very highly skilled, I should say, team, have received yet another award. One that when we look at the Governor's Finance Officers Association, they say it's the highest honor that you can actually earn for your annual comprehensive financial report. So Mr. Sugar and any members of your team who are here, we'd like to ask you to come forward and honor you and your team for the work that you do. Thank you so much. That is no easy feat. A lot of hard work all of the time, but especially in the past few years with the ESSERS funding and other funds that we've been able to use here in the district. So again, thank you, John, to you and every member of your team. The second recognition for this evening, we wanted to honor our staff members who are veterans. What better service or active service could anyone be a part of than helping to protect this wonderful nation where we live? Before Dr. Caraway begins with honoring members of our staff who are veterans here as well, I would like to pause and ask Mr. Wilson, a veteran, would you please stand so our board member, Mr. Wilson, that we could recognize you and thank you for your service.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Bennett. We gather here tonight. I want to take a moment to recognize the special individuals with our Vance County family, our veterans. These men and women have served our country with honor and continue their service in a different capacity within our schools. Their services in the armed forces bring a unique perspective to our educational environment. They're not just employees, they are mentors and examples of resilience and dedication to our students. It is important to acknowledge their contributions not only as veterans, but also as integral members to our school community. To all of our veterans here tonight, we want to take a moment to let you know how valued and respected you are. Thank you for your past sacrifices and your current commitment to our students and our community. When I call your name, please come forward to receive your pin and for a group photo. Sergeant Jesse Pendergrass. Specialist E4 Fred Jones. Second class, Kim Cruz. Master Sergeant Michael Austin. Sergeant George Pettiford. Private First Class Ralph Holloman Sr. Special E5 Kevin Johnson. Private Richard Bates. Specialist E4 Jesse Zachary. Private Charles Brown. Sergeant Tressa Treble. Senior Master Sergeant Jim McMillan. Senior Airman Dr. Stephanie Askew. Staff Sergeant Christian Salinas. Airman First Class Tracy Fontanet. Colonel Gary Lunsford. Airman First Class Adrian Davis. First Lieutenant Juliet Black. Technical Sergeant David Hunt. Chief Warrant Officer Milton Thomas Jr. Sergeant Reginald Sharon. And of course, Colonel Edward Wilson. Thank you.
First time I've ever been the tall person in the group.
What an amazing group of human beings, not only for their service, but for the other jobs and support that they give our school district. So again, thank you very, very much. And we all know it's a sacrifice not only to those who serve, but to their families as well. So we appreciate your families as well. Next, we'd like to focus on National School Psychologist Week. Mr. Horner?
Good evening. This month, we celebrated National Psychology Week during the week of November 6th through the 10th. We would like to take this time to express our gratitude and appreciation to the dedicated professionals who work tirelessly to support the well-being of our students. In the intricate tapestry of education, our school psychologists weave threads of empathy, understanding, and expertise. They are the advocates for mental health, working hand in hand with teachers, parents, and administrators to ensure that every student receives the support they need to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Their commitment goes beyond the textbooks and classrooms. They are champions for inclusivity, promoting a culture of acceptance and understanding. They equip our educators with the tools to recognize and address diverse learning needs, creating an environment where every student can achieve. At this time, I would like to acknowledge someone who is on staff with Vance County Schools. Could I have Ms. Patricia Maggio come forward, please? We would like to present this certificate to you in recognition of your unwavering commitment, passion, and positive impact on students.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I would also like to take this time to acknowledge two contracted individuals that also help as psychologists, Mr. David Karen and Ms. Selena Wade.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And our final recognition for this evening, honoring National STEM and STEAM Day, as well as our Center for Innovation. Dr. Ross Hutton?
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and Superintendent Bennett. On November 8th, the nation celebrated STEM/STEAM Day. It is a day that's dedicated to encourage students to explore their interests in the fields of science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. There have been a number of programs that have gone from the nation to attract more students into the STEM careers. We have our own programs in our district, which are formal STEM education entities. That of STEM Early High School, which is our middle school that has been in operation since 2012. E.M. Rollins STEM Academy, which is an elementary school that has been in operation for 6 years. And our Center for Innovation that is open to all Vance County schools that have been in operation for 2 years. At this time, I will call up the principals of those sites as well as the coordinator so they could share with you a presentation that they have created in celebration of STEM Day. Dr. Thomas, Mr. Ortega, and Ms. Kristen Jeffries.
Welcome to Vance County Schools, where innovation meets education. Today, we're diving into the exciting STEM and STEAM programs at E.M. Rollins STEAM Academy, STEM Early High School, and the Center for Innovation.
STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. while STEAM adds art to the mix, making it science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics.
It's about fostering critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. Those three skills are very essential in this rapidly evolving world.
STEAM is like an adventure. You get to explore, build, and create things that never thought was possible.
It's not just about textbooks and lectures. We actually get our hands dirty and see how things work in the real world.
Students don't just learn about these subjects, they experience them. From robotics competitions to coding workshops, Vance County Schools is turning classrooms into labs of innovation.
Students are not just learners, they're creators. They design solutions, build prototypes, and collaborate with peers, mirroring the real challenges they will face in real life.
STEM education opens doors for a wide range of opportunities. We teach students how to think, not what to think. Our students are not just preparing for jobs, they're preparing for careers that don't even exist yet.
Vance County Schools collaborates with local industry and professionals because we are committed to providing students with hands-on experiences and insight into future careers.
It is not just about filling their minds with information.
It's about nurturing a mindset
that embraces curiosity and continuous learning.
So why is STEM and STEAM so important? It's about empowering our students to shape the future, giving them the tools they need to innovate and inspiring a love of lifelong learning. Vance County Schools, where curiosity meets creation and every student has the chance to unlock their potential. The journey begins here.
Okay, I'll go first, coordinator for Center for Innovation. We at Center for Innovation are dedicated to providing our students with enriching intra-district field trips that offer immersive hands-on STEAM experiences, including themed art, creative projects, engineering challenges, robotics and drone coding, virtual reality explorations in the Z-Space Lab, audio and video production, and STEM career exploration through job simulations in our Slice Lab. This year, we began hosting student experiences in September. As we approach the December holiday break, the Center for Innovation will have hosted STEM and STEAM experiences for over 1,400 students in our district. These students include all of elementary 3rd through 5th graders, B3A students in K through 12, AIG students in grades 3 through 8, Vance County High School physical science students, ELL students from Clark and Aycott, and audio club students from our secondary schools. Finally, our early high school and high school students on the CFI campus daily for the High Tech Learning Accelerator course through Spark NC.
First of all, I would like to apologize for my closeness in the video. I told this to take out the so I do apologize. As a STEAM school, our goal is to encourage students to explore their creativity. Also, to make sure that they use their problem-solving skills to solve real-world problems. We also want them to use hands-on learning. And so with that hands-on learning, they get to experience some of the things that they're actually being exposed to. We want our kids to enjoy what they're doing. And with this, that means that they're able to enjoy coming to school. Being a good STEAM school, our kids want to come to school now. So Dr. Bennett, our attendance should show an increase because we do have Ebony Watkins, who is our STEAM coordinator at our school. We just started that this year. We also have a drone program that we will be implementing. We also have our course after school one day. She's working with 45 students. We don't provide transportation for these students. The parents actually pick them up. So we're excited about that.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. I want to apologize for being too close to in the video.
At STEM, we also procure to provide a teaching that combines engaging instruction with practical hands-on activities, ensuring that every lesson is just learned but experienced. So practically today, for example, we had our sixth graders going to the Pine Knoll Aquarium, and so they're on the way now back. And I've been receiving pictures of those kids enjoying really taking the lessons that they were in the theoretical in the classroom into life. So that's part of what we do, exposing those kids into the real life experiences. Also, they are exposed to app creation and coding, like Dr. Thomas said, jobs are now. And not just jobs that were created 10 years ago, jobs that will be created in a few years from now. Our students are exposed to that. We provide them with the tools and knowledge to excel in their careers of today. And
Welcome to Vance County Schools.
thank you. And we cultivate critical thinking, creativity, and problem-solving skills that can be successful in any field.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for your hard work. And that concludes our recognitions for this evening.
While Ms. White and Dr. Bennett coming back to the scene, I would like to say that this is also National Native American Heritage Month. You're fixing to throw down Thursday, and hold hands and say prayers for the Thanksgiving. We as Native Americans really appreciate that and glad we're still here. I'm a Native American. I'm a Lumbee Indian. You don't know about Lumbees like Cherokees because Cherokees have a casino. Once we ever get a casino, I'm sure you'll recognize Lumbee. But thank you. If we had 10 students in Vance County that come out of school, we would be able to get federally and state funding, but we don't have 10 students. I only had 2 children, so I should have 8 more.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. And absolutely correct. I would say I know a little about the Lumbees, being from Columbus County. Actually had some Lumbee students in school with me. So again, another amazing culture that we're so excited and so proud to have access to and to learn from. Thank you.
We'll move right on into the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll begin with the fiscal oversight monthly report, Mr. Souther.
Good evening. The fiscal site monthly report. Accounts are balanced through September. October payroll was reflective of the new state salary increases, and the retro pay was also completed for the months of July, August, and September. Principal legislative bonuses were paid to those qualifying principals, and then also in October, qualifying staff received the local longevity bonus. And an initial budget will be created and will be brought to the board for approval at the December board meeting. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Souther. As we move forward, continuous improvement quarterly update, just wanted to bring the board up to date. As it says, quarterly updates. I've met with each of our 16 principals individually. We've had conversations about their school improvement planning documents, the work that's actually taking place. We've discussed metrics, leading and lagging indicators to determine our movement and our growth. Some of the trends that were identified across the 16 schools, the principals and their administrative teams are working with the visible learning walkthroughs. They're trying to increase the frequency, but making sure that every teacher in the building has staff members or members, I should say, from the leadership team in their rooms, observing the lessons, providing growth producing feedback. Principals were able to talk about positive trends that they were seeing as they were walking through the classes, and also noticed a few things that might have been trending that we hope to make some changes with, like as specificity of standards, higher level questioning and things of that sort. And of course, they are working on those things and also having other instructional support staff in their buildings work with those. We're still struggling a little with full transparency across the district with transportation, with still having bus vacancies. We do have some students who are arriving anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes or so later than they should in the morning. And we're working diligently to hire more bus drivers. Mr. Perdue indicated that hopefully after the first of the year, we should have more who are available to support us. But I just want to say thank you to all the bus drivers and to the principals who are working with the transportation department to accept the students whenever they get there and whenever they're picked up in the afternoon, because some of the bus drivers are driving 2 and maybe 3 loops in the afternoon or morning. So we're getting them to school and we're getting them home, but we need more bus drivers. So that is something that we are diligently working on. Another thing that we have had conversations around with the quarterly reviews with the principals are behaviors, suspensions, numbers of days, reasons. One of the things that we have found, and Mr. Horner will at our next meetings be sharing specific metrics around data as it relates to behavior, but we're seeing that not every site has had an increase in behaviors, but the behaviors that we are seeing across the district are more intense. And so having a psychologist, having behavior support staff, looking forward to training for all of our staff members, and we're hearing that from the getting teachers as well. There's a request to help with student behaviors, help with interventions and de-escalation of specific behaviors from our students. This isn't just a Vance County issue, this is something statewide, but we're certainly focusing on that because we know it's important that our students remain in our buildings with us, and principals are doing an excellent job of finding alternatives to suspension. So just wanted to bring you up to date on a few things from our conversations. After each of the meetings, each principal was provided with a personalized letter based on conversations that I had with them. The last thing relates to fall sports. Mr. Warner and I had conversations about sharing some findings from our fall sports. But Mr. Warner, I believe that there are some awards and decisions that have still yet to be made. So Mr. Warner will be giving a more thorough overview of our fall athletics in January when all of those things have been determined. Okay, thank you. That concludes my report.
Next we'll move on into the standing committees, and after that would be personnel. And we met on November 7th, and we talked about the projected vacancies, and they are continuously coming down. But we're not at 0 yet. Of course, some of you all know that those who have the vacancies still remaining. We talked about the ESS substitute system, and that seems to be working quite well. And lastly, we looked at the personnel summary, and I do have an action item, and I would like to get approval for those folks on the personnel summary addendum sheet. That is my motion that we approve that. Including I've got addendum. Yes, I think. Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, under outside contracted services. That first name there. We need that name on there. I would have to vote no. Like to discuss that in the executive session.
Okay, so the motion to approve the personnel addendum sheet or personnel action, except for that, item that you mentioned.
Right.
Okay, that is your motion? We'll have to change the motion since we're not going to approve that.
Yeah, I make the motion to accept the addendum as presented, except for the first name under
Okay.
outside contracted service.
Okay, a second. Second motion. Okay. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. Alrighty, and our next, meeting is December 5th at 9:00 a.m. Next, we'll move on to, finance, Mr. Sister, we got more money in?
Yes, ma'am.
We did?
Wow. Yes, of course we are.
That's
We
wonderful.
can talk about that later. So the finance committee, met October 25th. Ms. White called the meeting to order at 12:00 and turned the meeting over to Dr. Bennett. Allied Instructional Services is an educational management company that provides schools with professional staff and programs for supporting the growth, development, and life skills of individuals with special needs. This is a one-year contract that will use state EC funds for $30,000. Being no further discussion, Dr. Perry motioned and Ms. Cox seconded to take the Allied Instructional Services contract to the full board for approval.
Can I get a motion to approve that? The Allied Instructional Services.
I make a motion to approve.
I get a second. Okay, any discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. Okay,
IXL Learning is an online program where K-12 students can gain fluency and confidence with essential math skills through interactive questions and built-in support. This is a one-year contract that will use Title I funds of $66,348. Being no further discussion, Dr. Perry motioned and Ms. Cox seconded to take the IXL Learning contract to the full board for approval.
can I get a motion for the, to approve the IXL, learning?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Second. Oh, boy, a lot of seconds. Pick one, Ms. Steve. Okay, any discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand.
Next, the North Carolina Session Law 2023-1-134 states that local education administrative units can now hold up to $1,500 instead of the previous $250 overnight before a deposit is made. Being no further discussion, Ms. Cobb motioned and Dr. Perry seconded to accept the law change of the daily deposit amount to $1,500 as allowable. And I just want to make sure that the board understands I'm still requiring, or we still are requiring a daily deposit.
Yes.
This will just allow us any wiggle room if something were to come up that the board would change this now to $1,500. And that is for the whole district. That's not one school or one location. That would be throughout the whole district, that cumulative amount.
So, right, okay, so we just took that as information only, so since it's come down from high in Raleigh, we have to do it anyway, so we don't need to vote on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then finally, informational items were taken to the committee for the 23-24 budget updates were presented. And the next meeting is November 28th, and the meeting was adjourned at 12:26.
All right, thank you, sir. Next, building and grounds, Ms. Hartnett.
Thank you. Mr. Purdue informed the committee that the HVAC project at the middle school and Center for Innovation will be completed during the summer of 2024 and early in 2024. Shelters are nearing completion at the 10 elementary schools, and playground equipment is scheduled to arrive in about 2 weeks. Informed the committee that one of the 2 ECF buses have been received and grant applied for several years ago. The other budget expected to be received in the next month is, our surplus property, the gov deal is still in flux, shall I say, surveys are getting finalized and we're working with the title company to confirm that they will insure the title. No vesting needs could be located for the property. So they hope that they will insure based on continuous possession and use by Vance County Board of Education. Also, in your book tonight, you have the work order custodial reports and monthly updates for the school. The next meeting is scheduled for the 28th of November at 8:30 a.m. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Crockett. Policy.
Good evening. The policy committee did not meet. Nevertheless, we would like the board's approval on the Parents' Bill of Rights. Therefore, we would ask for approval for policy 7300, which is staff responsibility, policy 6120, student health services, policy 4720, surveys of students, policy 4335, criminal behavior, 3540, comprehensive health educational program, 3210, parental inspection of an objection to instructional material, 1310/4002, parental involvement.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. Okay. There we go. Next, it is curriculum. And we met on October 26th. And Dr. Bachelor Carlson outlined the key objectives of the district's improvement plan, including indicators, focus, and aligned action steps. Dr. Ross Putney shared that plan will be available for public feedback and then submitted to the full board for approval before it's submitted to the state. So we've had that. So right now, I would like to make a motion to approve that district improvement plan. That's my motion, so I just.
That's the motion.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. Okay. And it was further discussed, shared a report on PD credits earned during the month of September. Talked about the letters plan. A revision of the process for the K-12 literacy and instructional standards is on the way, and the district has identified the groups of educators who will be actively involved in the process. There were questions raised by committee members regarding student reading levels, and they were addressed, as well as questions on outside school experiences for exceptional children. And we would just like to have a list of where the experiences outside of the classroom that the EC students have been participating in. So we're looking to see some of that. Additionally, I asked for a sample of handwriting, specifically cursive handwriting from our fourth graders, because legislatively, it was said and put into the curriculum that we had to have that part of our curriculum. And it's supposed to start in third grade. And so, as they say, the proof will be in the pudding. The proof will be in the writing samples that we receive. from our fourth graders. Okay? Because I mean, I guess I'm kind of a, some say you need to do something else. I'm kind of a stickler for that because I know if you cannot write it, you cannot read it. You know, sometimes it may be archaic, it may be, you know, we'll be using computers, we'll never see it again. I don't know. But right now, some people still write in cursive. I write in cursive. And I know I can give it to some of my grandchildren, and guess what? They can't read it because they can't write it. I don't know how they're gonna sign a signature, you know. I guess, you know, they can go use the good old manuscript. I guess, you know, if that's all you have. But you get out here in the professional world and somebody wants you to sign a document. If you don't know cursive, how are you gonna do it? So. That's my 2 cents on that. So that's it for that meeting, and we will meet again on 9 o'clock on November the 28th. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to community and business relations.
The Community and Business Relations Committee did not meet.
Okay, do we have any new business?
We will meet, November the 28th at 10 a.m.
Okay, we look forward to that. Thank you. All right, Ms. Bennett, in business?
No new business at this time.
Okay, recurring items, overnight field trips.
I want to thank the board for your approval outside of the board meeting. It was a quick turnaround, but we did have Dr. Jim Hall working with the Henderson Institute and a couple of other organizations to ensure that we had students attend a festival over the weekend. So just want to thank you for that. As far as out of county transfers, we have 18 transferring in to the county and 5 transferring out.
Okay, can I get a motion that we approve the revised student transfers and releases?
Make a motion to approve the revised out of county transfer that's presented.
Okay, any discussion? There being none, all those in favor for approval, do so by raising your right hand. Okay, and I think that is it, and we come to the end of the road. And before we go, I would like to thank Mr. Ronald Bennett for attending tonight's meeting. Stand up, Mr. Bennett. This is Dr. Bennett. We'll take that spot for you next month. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for coming. Right now, I'd like to move that we go into closed session pursuant to provisions of NCGS 143-318-2011 for purposes of discussing legal, personnel, and property issues. That is my motion. Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All right, and to all a good night.